Hello and welcome to your twin flame reading for today for the divine masculine and the divine feminine and your current union energy happening. And like your union is really the foundation for everything in your life and relationship with life itself, a union consciousness. So it's really important to always attune yourself to that, whether or not you're actively claiming, your twin flame journey. You're hopefully just making the decision to love yourself and to heal and to take that inner journey of being in complete union, with your highest self within. And so that is one and the same with your twin flame journey, because watch out, you'll attract your twin flame into your life as you do that, if you haven't already. So yeah, let's get started with the reading. I'll also just say, astrologically speaking, I think it's interesting that it's still a few days away, but Pluto's returning to the place where it was in January, where there was a Saturn and Pluto conjunction, and it's retrograde, right? I'm looking at this and I want to make sure I have the right info, but I know what I want to say about it, but I want to, in case you're into astrology, get that part right. But so retrograde, it's retrograde, and it's going over, it's covering territory that means it already covered, right? And so that's why it's going back to that place in January on August 29th. And that's pretty interesting because it was January 12th. And I know for me, there were some very significant things going on for me in my life around that time that do feel very related to right now. And so I just invite you to feel into that, especially if there's something you're dealing with where you feel like you're really healing a block that's very personal and yet at the same time very transpersonal, because Pluto is an outer planet and it is about, big change and revolution, things like that. And along with other things that relate to Pluto as well. But if there's something that you feel you may be having a specific place for in the collective consciousness related to your life purpose and something you're resolving within and perhaps even taking action on, it's just something to look at and to really choose for yourself to resolve that and know that you're actually bringing that healing that you're doing within to not only your union, but just you're making a path for the world at large, to heal in that same place just by making that choice, which I just think is so cool and true. And so hopefully that makes it easier for you if that resonates. And I feel like there was something else I was going to say about that, but you know what, that's enough astrology to set up the tone with, I think, anyways. So let's just go into the cards. I just did 3 cards today. I really was feeling like simplicity. And so, let's get started with the middle card, because it is a Notes from the Universe on Abundance card for your union energy, so a little more life purpose oriented. And there's a nice waterfall. Remember, don't go chasing waterfalls, right? Let the waterfall come to you. Just like this card is showing, actually. It's like the waterfall's like, all that fresh water that's, I could imagine it's being filtered, assuming it's all nice up here, coming from melted snow, coming down the spring. So, it says, you wondering how would be as silly as me wondering why. I don't, and neither should you. Let's not be that crazy, the universe. So let's, pull this pretty simple, yet I think there's a lot here, to this message. Let's look at that a little bit. And it's interesting. I have this moth at the moment and going around my ring light. So to me, it's like signaling. I think it went away. Okay, hopefully. But it's kind of signaling this idea of like a moth to the light, and being attracted to something and just looking at that. Like, if you're attracted to something, I mean, a moth to the light, and I've seen many poems and metaphors going both ways on that, right? Like, that could be a very positive thing, being just like having that innate attraction and going towards something, but it could also potentially burn you. Like, if the light is, too hot and all you're doing is going straight at it without like making sure that you're going towards something that is safe. So it's okay to go on that process and to find out for yourself what actually you can trust and what is safe, because you can't really trust something and feel like it's safe, with a true foundation, until you really do find that within anyway. I mean, you can go after it and you can even get there really fast, but and I'm not encouraging you to slow down on your dreams, but I am encouraging you to just really look at your foundation and make sure you are really doing things from a place of that, that loving trust, that groundedness, that is going to make something sustainable for you, so that even when you are, in a higher state of being, because my throat chakra is having something going on here. I don't know, it's pretty dry here too. Yeah, when you're in a higher state of being, you still have the foundation that you have built, with God, that's always been there in a way too, that you're accessing, by clearing the blocks. But, yeah, like, it's really nice to have a more expansive foundation to fall back on when you're not in such a, like, high place, because you're going to experience both the highs and the lows, and having that place to ground into that you have really, been able to expand, cultivate, build some trust there, some love there, hopefully, a lot, not just some, with the divine. That's going to be what really allows you to move forward in a way that feels really good and easy. And, you can have confidence because you know that you can trust yourself there. You know that you can trust what you're doing. And that's what the teachings that I follow and that I share and that do provide you with the way to achieve harmonious union, but then to also continue on your ascension path all the way into perfect union. That's what they provide. They provide that kind of clarity and confidence. And so that's why I like doing what I do, and that's why I like learning what I like to learn about spirituality, and also sharing it and teaching it and coaching. And so, yeah, like, what is that thing for you? It might be the same thing as me, and even though, like, at my core this is foundational, there's of course other things I really love that I can, like, this work comes through those things as well, like astrology, for instance. And I did kind of drop astrology for a little while there, not like completely, like I never said, no, I don't like this, because I genuinely love it. But, I got really busy with other things. I stopped really paying so much attention for a period of time, and that was fine. It was okay, like, then it was nice to come back to it and really, like, have a new level of awareness and appreciation for it, because I also wasn't attached to it in any way. It's like, yeah, I could still live my life. I can still have a very meaningful existence without astrology, but I really enjoy it, and I see the value of it. Also through surrendering it, and seeing how it really fits into my particular soul design on a deeper level. So, yeah, like, what is stuff like that for you? Like, you wondering how? Well, just, like, keep going with yourself. Like, just keep on keep on exploring and getting clear on who you are and what you're meant to do, and choose that. And don't be afraid to like go all the way into something, and go through the block, because the block is going to be there until you meet it where you need to clear it completely, and also like learn some really amazing lessons on the way. Like it's all about your experience and your journey too. Like, what's the point of getting somewhere or getting the thing without the whole experience and the feelings and life? And same goes for your just plain old your twin flame journey too. Yeah, and so focusing on that, but asking how all the time, or like, it's just kind of funny because like imagine, God or the universe, whatever you like to say, source, spirit, that like the ultimate creator being like, why should so and so be in union with their twin flame? I don't know. Like, nah, I don't know. I don't think so. Not today. Like, that seems like so very, it seems crazy, just like this card says, right? So it's kind of also saying, like, poking fun at you. Like saying, how can this be? And then trying to like make up ways that how something can work out. That's a really good way to leak your energy. And it's fine to have an imagination, to write about things, to think of possibilities, work out those feelings, give that love to yourself of all of the hows of how this is going to happen. But that's not your job. The how is just not your job. That is God's job. So it's safe to fully surrender that, and then to just move towards your desired, move towards your dream, move towards what feels good and juicy. And that's it. That's all you have to do. So that's a really good lead-in to check out the links below. And if you even want to pause the video, take a moment. You can always explore my links, explore my website. I encourage you to do so. So let's move on to the Divine Masculine card. And, Divine Wisdom, another really good lead-in. Wow, it's like so perfect. So number 36, and I love that. My numbers are like in numerology are 3, 6, 9, and so 3 plus 6 obviously equals 9, and 9 is all about like pearls of wisdom, but this is to me signifying like leading up to that in some kind of a way. Like the Divine Masculine is leading up to that, some kind of culmination of wisdom for him, where he's able to, you're able to pinpoint something, and really like integrate it into your foundation on a new level. And again, there's a really amazing book linked below called Twin Flames: Finding Your Ultimate Lover by Jeff and Shalia. So if you haven't checked it out yet, really highly recommend that. And there is a whole chapter on this thing called the mirror exercise, which you may know watching this, you may not, but it is phenomenal, and it is not the same as other similar things that you may have learned from other places. I mean, it was truly designed to be as simple and effective of a process for clearing separation and learning how to love yourself effectively and actually doing it, loving yourself, having a relationship at the core of your being. And so, it's the fastest, most efficient way to do that and just heal anything that's not in alignment with the truth of who you are. Shed light on that, love it back into your heart space. So, and this is about the high chakras, and so it also signifies to me this further going into good, you've built your foundation, or, don't forget to focus on that when you are in these higher states of gaining clarity and wisdom, so that you can trust and fall back on and relax into your foundation of peace. So we're going to move on now to the Divine Feminine's card. And these are chakra reading cards by Rochelle Charman, by the way. I always have all the card info in my description if you ever want to check them out. So the Divine Feminine's card is balance, the yin-yang symbol. And I was just thinking, like, it would be interesting if it were yang-yin. I don't know why it's like just always referred to in that order. So that's interesting. I hadn't thought about that at all until now, I mean. But yeah, and it's also interesting, this card, this depiction is missing, or maybe of course I'm sure it's intentional, like the image, but it doesn't have it's not the full symbol, but I don't know if it's also another similar symbol or what the deal is exactly, but it does represent balance, certainly. Like, this card to me is like, okay, yeah, I could see that. But it doesn't have like the one inside the other. So, I think there's something here with the Divine Feminine just like going deeper within her own energy and completely surrendering, and trusting that the Divine Masculine is already I want to say like within her heart space, but like you aren't the Divine Masculine, you have no masculine energy as the Divine Feminine, and it's all about like surrendering that to your Divine Masculine, but yeah, like knowing and feeling that is completely safe is a process. And for everyone, it's a little bit different. And again, for those blocks that you clear to that, though, you're really making it easier for anyone who's gonna face similar kinds of things, just making it easier for them to tap into what you've healed in consciousness already. And and this also reminds me of like kind of turning things upside down. And how sometimes you flip something over, or you want to look at something another way. It actually reminds me of my paintings. I've had experiences with my abstract art where I'm like, I wouldn't have hung it that way. The person who it ended up with, it's like, okay, that's cool. I would have hung it the other way, but this works. But yeah, it can be nice to like kind of really explore like, your soul design, like what's the right way for it. Like what am I feel like there's a little bit more here. It's like there is no up and down in truth, or like this, this and that. Everything is one thing. And so it's also about bringing all levels, recognizing the union there of the physical and the spiritual, all of this, that like the 5D, the 3D, and just not settling for just having, a part of your twin flame experience like be in what people refer to as the 5D. That's painful, because that is separation. Like, even thinking that there is separation there. So I just invite you, if that is something that you kind of thought about just abandoning, like being like, okay, this is enough. It's not enough. Like, that doesn't actually feel good. So, I guess that's like what wanted to really be said, is just like, in turning this painting around, of your consciousness, of your soul design, of everything, just, like exploring, you're also allowing all of the dimensions to really be seen and felt. and see where they really meet within you, you know, like that's gonna also help you manifest stuff. I mean, you can't control, right? Like you, at some point, there is mastery to be had there when you are perfectly ascended, but that doesn't, it's just a journey, and it's not about what you manifest. It is about being with God. It's about the feeling and the love that you are, that you choose to relate to, and that you choose to give and receive. And it's all one thing. And so that's the last thing I'll say about this, is that it also shows that kind of interplay of giving and receiving, and how it is a completely balanced thing. You never need to worry that like what you're giving isn't somehow going to be returned. What you need to do instead is look at where there's energy leaks and where you're giving but actually doesn't feel right. Like you're not really giving when you're taking from yourself, right? Like then there's an imbalance there. So it's about balancing that. And so that's also about clearing poverty consciousness within you and saying no to it, saying, you know, no, it's okay maybe to charge for this or that, if that's something, you know, you're experiencing. Or no, it's okay to have like boundaries in my schedule. This is when I'm gonna do this, or this is when I'm gonna be available to meet with so-and-so, or anything, you know, anywhere where there is a need for more balance there, where it feels like there might be a leak. Could be something bigger too, you know, where you need a bigger boundary, whatever. But yeah, just choose balance and see, like, in your choosing that and affirming that, like, what comes up to go deeper with. Because sometimes you're like, oh, cool, I'm perfectly balanced there. But then it's like, you know, you do the tree pose one day on your left foot, and you're like, oh cool, I can like basically spread my wings and fly, you know, on one foot, I'm so balanced. And then you do it the next day and you practically fall over, but you feel like you're better than you were before, but you're reaching something new, you know, you're still going over the simple things and you're going deeper with them. And so there's deeper levels that are going to need rebalancing as you heal more. So yeah, it's just safe to look at that and to choose that. And I mean, that could be said, of course, for both, but I can see from these cards the Divine Masculine's more focused on like this wisdom area and more balance for the Divine Feminine. So yeah, cool reading. That's cool. Went a little longer than I expected for 3 cards, but I guess that's why I felt called to pull 3. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your day or evening, and like and subscribe if you want to do that. I appreciate it, and it does help these videos get to get shared more on YouTube. So yeah, it's nice to be a part of the communities that you enjoy and like really engage in them, and YouTube is definitely a community. So anyways, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and take care, and I will see you again soon. Love you. Bye.